Hey, this is Overclocked. I'm Joshua Pa, your host. My co-host is the Robo Stud from OSU, Jacob Essen here. How's it going?
Fantastic, Josh. How's it
Thanks.
going?
I'm doing great, my friend. It's a Pokemon on the Switch. Now, I remember the room. We talked about this last time, actually. I remember the rumors used to be that Sun and Moon were going to get ports to the Switch, and I'd be excited for that because I'd much rather I hate
Play it on a
3DS,
high-res screen.
and I'd much rather play it on a high-res screen, or hook it up to a monitor and just play off my monitor or something like that. What do you think about Pokemon coming to the Switch?
Um, I mean, I would like a port. I think that'd be cool. I don't know if I'd get it because it's just like the same formula. I want a fully 3D remake, which from when looking at the ad, which where these rumors spawned, was that Game Freak was looking for animators.
A whole new team, basically, to make.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't say specifically Pokemon, but it was like
They said RPG, global RPG with a very catchy.
It's known around the world. Yeah, yeah.
They basically said it was Pokemon.
Basically,
what other well-known RPG does Nintendo have? They're all owned by.
None. Yeah. I mean,
because Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest are on everything now. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. I hope it's a kind of a a revamp. I mean, I want a
real Pokemon
3D.
Game, but I've never had the best experience with real Pokemon. I remember playing Pokemon Stadium or Snap a little bit.
Pokemon Snap on the was it GameCube or N64?
N64, and then Stadium was on the GameCube, right? And I played that.
Yeah, there was the Stadium for the N64. Actually, was there one for there had to be one for GameCube.
I remember playing Pokemon Stadium 2, and I also played Pokemon it was some weird offshoot game that was on the GameCube, and it had the Pokemon that controls time. It's the one from Pearl and Diamond.
Not Lugia. It's
no. It's
I know what you're talking about. It's Dialga, something like that.
Post production, but basically,
I know what game you're talking about. I had a poster of it.
It was terrible. The game was not fun to play.
I never played it, so I don't know. But
so I'm really hesitant about 3D Pokemon games because in the past, I'm pretty sure all of them were garbage.
I want one that's like the traditional RPG, but do you remember the old game that one person was making? It was Pokemon Generations. It was basically it was a game. You would run around in 3D space. You would catch Pokemon, and the battles weren't turn-based. They were kind of like a MOBA battle. You would move where your Pokemon would go, and then you had your 4 moves, and they weren't on cooldowns, but it was a stamina meter. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and that's what I want to see on the Switch, because the Switch could totally handle it.
What about this? What if it is a Pokemon-styled RPG, like a legit RPG? Like
you were a trainer and you went through and you caught. I would love that. Yeah, I want the traditional RPG.
Would you rather have them do a JRPG where it's like Final Fantasy games where it's I got a really good story or something like that, or a Western RPG where it's more open world?
Open world, because that's what Pokemon is. I don't want. I don't play Pokemon for the story. I don't play it for the story.
Okay, here's the thing: Pokemon gets open world around the same time Final Fantasy games get airships. So it's the same. Pokemon is just as much as open world as Final Fantasy is.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit about the story.
But that's what I'm saying. What if they did? Remember, what if they did a anthology kind of game where it went over the history of Pokemon and stuff? Because in Pokemon they talk about the war and everything that happened in Pokemon fighting with you.
But I didn't care for that.
But I thought that was actually really I feel like it'd be way cooler if they did something different, port Sun and Moon. So you have your regular Pokemon games, and then do something really weird and different. And see if it works.
I could see that. I still would rather have the turn-based battles. Literally have not changed since the game came out.
Because they're good.
Well, it gets boring. It's a really complicated version of rock paper scissors, right? I want those epic battle. I wasn't a fan of Pokken Tournament because it just felt stupid. I didn't. It was a fighting game. It wasn't a Pokemon game. I want the combination of the turn-based, but with a more complicated aspect to it. Now it's look, you can do
fighting system.
Sorta, yeah. That's why I liked Pokemon Generations, because the fighting in it was different. It was reaction, but there was also still you had the original moveset,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're whatever they make is gonna sell well because it's Pokemon, and it's gonna be the first
Yeah,
Pokemon on the
definitely.
Switch. And I think the Switch is gonna be really like if Pokemon can make it on the Switch, I think it can really help Switch out as being like a mobile and for their gaming market.
Well, that's what that's what I really want. I have
I
a
want them to
Switch.
get rid of the 3DS. I have a 3DS and I think it's not very good.
Yeah, they're competing with themselves, and I
Yeah.
think it's a terrible idea. I want more than anything is a game for the Switch that is a
Exclusive.
mobile. No, it's just mobile. Like Legend of Zelda, fun game, but I only play it at home. I want a game that I can take place, and that's like the Pokemon game. It was meant to you take places so you can fight
Splatoon,
real
though.
people. Oh my god, fucking hate you.
That's
You know how much I think that.
Esports, dude, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, the Splatoon esports, man. It's really taken off, man.
Yeah, Nintendo
I mean, it's got-
completely ignores Smash Bros, which is like the
They're
largest.
only and they're like, we're
in
gonna make a
esport.
new esports.
They're
God.
like, we're gonna do Splatoon, boys. Splatoon can really compete in the FPS field with Counter Strike and Overwatch. Super competitive. All right,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's-
We'll move on. So Pokemon Switch. Yeah, anything's pretty good right now because the Switch has no games right now. So
yeah. Well, like, yeah,
yeah, it has no games right now.
it has no games.
Yeah. The retro adapter.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
the
yeah,
retro adapter, you just showed me this not that long ago. So it's apparently like you plug in all your cartridges to it and you can hook up controllers and stuff, but it's basically like a little steam machine.
It's more of just an adapter for your PC, and I thought it was really cool, and I want to get one, just because I have
So
a bunch
it
of old
hooks up to your
cartridges.
computer, right? It can't
Yeah,
do it
and
on
so-
its own.
No, in fact, it needs an emulator on your PC to run any of the games, but I think it's cool to just actually be able to use the original cartridges, and also you can use it to plug in your old controllers, like your original controllers, and it accepts it
have.
it accepts it as a normal
So
controller
here-
input.
I have something like that. I have a SNES Super Nintendo controller adapter to USB that I use already, and I really like that. My biggest thing is this was like $55 or something like that. Also, if you own the cartridges, you're going to tend to own the console for the cartridges, and
Yeah.
it kind of like seems like it's cool,
It
but it's
kind of
something
negates the
I
purpose.
wouldn't want to buy it because I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, that I it's basically it's a legal version of getting your games onto an emulator because you can dump them into
I thought
ROMs.
the law
And
was
technically,
if you own the game, you
can have the ROM.
ROM, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's I don't know. It's like it's basically just a way to
checking?
dump
Who-
your.
who cares?
I don't know. Do you have like a police officers bursting down your door? Do you own that game?
And I'm like,
I
search
saw
through
you
my Super
downloaded
Nintendo
that.
controllers. I'm like, here it is. I was like, I got it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's cool to be able like if I wanted to because the cool thing is you can play NES, SNES, and N64, and it's more of a legit version. And second, so it's more a legit version. Like if you wanted to play all your game consoles on a little PC that you have like a media
I feel
PC.
like it might be good.
It's
for
more
people who broke through consoles or something and don't want to buy a new because retro consoles tend to be very expensive. But this is $55, which is
It's a
Pretty
little steep. It's more I think it's more for show. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I think
gimmicky, but it's cool.
definitely gimmicky for sure. All right, now Apple ads. So these are the ads for the Apple iPad, the newer.
They're the iPad Pro.
Yeah.
They're holy shit.
So I'm gonna put my perspective first because I know Jacob.
Okay,
I don't understand why
I'm
Jacob hates
triggered.
the ads so much.
I hate them.
I think that they're
hate
not.
them.
I think Apple in general is just a really terrible company, in my opinion. Like I don't like it that much, but I think they're just trying to like make a Surface Pro. That's all. But without being a computer, it's a Apple device, which is better. Actually, which is worse. So from what I saw, they're trying to really like play off of like, oh, you can use a pen on it, and like it can multitask. Like they kept showing multitasking in it and stuff. One, my phone from like 3 years ago can multitask. Like it's not a big deal. The Note 2 or 3, the Note 3 had multitasking in it, so that's not even that big of a deal. They're like, oh, you can use your like internet on it or whatever. You can hook up a service plan to Service Pro. Like if you just took your Service Pro into a AT&T store, they'd give you like data for it. You can do it with your iPad already. So that's like not a new thing. And for me, it just seemed like they're 5 years behind the curve on everything again. But
Like usual.
It's Apple, so it's better. Especially with the whole keyboard. The ad that just showed that you could put your keyboard underneath the pad. It's like, it looks been around forever. Alright,
Yeah,
so I'm not like super triggered. I like this is normal Apple, but why do you hate it, Chicken?
Okay, I hate
person
this
who
for a
buys
number
Apple.
of reasons. I have an Apple iPhone, right? The reason I have one is iMessage. That's literally the only reason.
But that's bit.
But
But hey, Android has Wi-Fi text and calling now.
yes, but when the problem I had, I lived in an area that had no service and satellite internet. The
Yeah, I know.
only way I could communicate was through iMessage. Anyway, these ads with the iPad Pro trigger me so much, and here's why. One, I don't understand who are they marketing this to? Who are they marketing the iPad Pro to?
People who are going to buy a computer but should buy an iPad Pro. So. Which is no one.
An iPad Pro is not a computer. They try to market it in these ways. Like, for example, the one where he's like, it's not a real computer. It's not a real computer. Like,
And they're like, oh, you're right. It's not a real computer. Because it's faster
better.
than
It's
most computers.
faster than most computers.
Okay, yeah.
One,
Most computers are $500
Most-
cheaper than it.
because there's more cheaper computers than there are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Anyway,
much is this cost? Like $1,000 or something like that?
crazy. And you have the pen. Okay.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. Let me back up for a second. These ads have been on Facebook in my feed for like the last month. Okay. And every time I watch it, and it like the first one I saw was like, my computer has a virus on it. Oh no. Well, an iPad can't get PC viruses. Well, yeah, because
'Cause it's not
PC
PC.
viruses. Only PC doesn't mean it can't get viruses.
It's just
But that brings me to the
PC
other thing.
viruses.
It's running iOS. It's not even running an operating system that you can do productive stuff on it.
Wait, it's just running iOS?
It's running iOS. Straight iOS. Now do you see why this triggers me?
It's not even running like Mac OS?
No, it's running iOS. It's running the bare bone. It's useless. You cannot run anything good or important or
It's just a
productive
blew
on
up-
it at all.
It's just a blow up iPhone.
Yeah, so when they ask you oh, can I run Word on it? Yeah, the app version of Word that you can get on your phone.
Yeah.
It's I don't understand what this is marketed to. They bring out the
Here's what it's
pen.
marketed to. It's marketed to people who have a hard on for Apple. People just buy Apple because it's a name brand. It's like, oh, you have to get Apple. Apple hasn't been its head of innovation since the iPhone.
Yeah, since Steve Jobs left, it's been trash.
Yeah. The original iPhone was probably the biggest thing Apple's done in a long time. The computers, they've been done since the iMac 2 or whatever that was, the one that everybody had in their grade schools and stuff growing up. That was the last super popular Apple computer. MacBooks sell just as well as laptops from what I've seen. Statistically, people buy laptops, people buy MacBooks. It's just people who are rich and dumb and white buy MacBooks, and people who aren't buy laptops. But
Yeah.
I think they're marketing it to the people who buy Apple products, which are retards, Jacob. They're retards who don't know anything about technology. They need to watch this show so I can tell them that they're retarded and to go buy a Surface Pro.
Okay, exactly. The new Surface Pro is really
The
good.
old
It's
Surface
so much
Pros
better.
are better than this new Apple. I remember when Jeff Anderson, so our friend's dad, he brought his Surface Pro right when they came out or whatever. He bought one. It had an i5 in it. It had 8 gigs of RAM, 500 gig
It was
hard
solid.
drive. It was a basic PC, and it was that big or something like that.
Yeah.
And you carried it around, and it was so cool. That was 4 years ago or something when we were in robotics sophomore year.
Yeah, I wanted one to program robots with because it
Yeah.
was so simple. It was perfect. But this, I don't know. For example, the pen, it's the
Is
iPad
this
Pro.
the-
It's for professional use.
Yeah.
It's for artists, yet the pen sucks. And if you're going to use it for anything artist-like, you're going to get the right equipment for it.
Yeah,
You're not
also
going to use
artists-
an iPad
Artists
Pro.
aren't going to use an iPad Pro. They're going to use those
Yeah.
writing tablets or whatever they already use. People who digitally do art aren't going to buy an iPad. Let's just say to do their art. This is just a gimmicky thing to sell to people.
Yeah, it's idiotic.
All right, so Apple sucks. We'll move on.
Woo woo.
Overwatch. So what's this free
Okay.
PC?
Oh, okay. So I made a note of this because I thought this was really.
donated a bunch of stuff, right, or something like that.
No. This is
It's that
incredible.
Thing that they made they got money for this guy to buy a new PC or something like that.
Yeah, so this guy he uploaded his play of the game, which was running on a potato. it was at 800 by 600 resolution. he had all of the effects and the projectiles turned off so his computer could run it at like a steady, I don't know, like something terrible FPS.
Like 10.
And he uploaded his Reinhardt play of the game. And people are like, whoa, wait, what the hell are you playing this on? This is terrible. And I don't know the specs. They're awful. But a bunch of Reddit users were like, dude, we need to get you an actual PC. And they started, like, people were donating old parts to him and money and like, sending him, like, hey, do you want this graphics card I got? And, like, he hasn't got the PC yet, but, like, it's basically, like, on his way to his place. I thought that was incredible. Like, that is the internet. Like, that's the good side of the internet right there.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
they do this all the time, I feel like, though. But I feel like this is, like, a minority of people on the internet. Like, I personally would never give money out to anyone unless it was for, like, services in return, you know what I'm saying? But, also, like, I wouldn't just donate PC parts to random nerds on the internet. Like, I'm not that nice of a guy. Like, I probably would have told them,
well,
hey, get good, get a new computer, you're a piece of garbage. Like,
the standard Josh Paul response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Speaking of Overwatch, so thoughts on Orisa, the new champion that we talked about, or new hero, sorry. We just talked about her last week.
Yeah,
I haven't played her.
You haven't played her yet?
No. I haven't been. I played all my placement matches with you, and she's disabled and competitive, right?
Oh yeah, for the first week, which I like. That's good.
I think that's dumb. Just for the simple fact that, like, the game itself shouldn't release a character that needs to be disabled for 1 week, because Overwatch is such a simple. It is so simple of a game. Like, you can
simple.
You can first pick anything and know how to play in competitive.
Yeah, okay, and I think it's just delaying the inevitable for a week.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I kind of wish they would do that in League. Like, Galio just came out. Actually, this wouldn't be that bad. So I play League mostly. I don't play Overwatch mostly. I like Overwatch though, but like in League, a new champion just got released, Galio. They reworked him. But I was in ranked games and people were just like leaving lobby because their teammate picked Galio. And, like, he's not that bad, but he's not good, and it's ranked, and people are really tryhard. I feel like Overwatch. I think Overwatch is a lot more lax in its competitive scene on ranked. I think rank doesn't matter as much in Overwatch. And that's all I got to really say about Orisa. I haven't seen her, haven't played with her. Have you played with her?
So here's my thing. Yes, I have. I've played her on Quick Play. And she's fun. She's definitely going to shake things up. But the problem is you don't get a good feel unless it's in a competitive environment. Yeah. Like, people are just effing around in Quick Play.
Anything's good in Quick Play, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so
you
I don't. I played Bastion forever, and I love playing Bastion in Quick Play because it's so easy and so much fun to just mow people down.
And people are like, "Where's Bastion? We gotta kill him or something." Wait.
God.
Let's pick Torbjorn.
Yeah.
A possible map editor in Overwatch, good or bad? I think bad. I think gaming companies need to, like, not. If it's, it matters what kind of game it is. Like, Halo had Forge, for instance, and that was awesome.
Oh, definitely.
If they implement it similar to that, it could be cool. But a game like Overwatch, that its graphics are, like, a lot higher demand. Hi, Nate. And
hi, bro. Wave high.
And then the graphics, Overwatch is a lot more graphically intense than Halo was, or anything like any Halo games for that matter. Also, it's a massive, like, it's only online.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it did release a map editor, like, what would you use it for? Like, you could make a map that you could play with your friends on custom. Like, you'd have to have 12 people to make a full game. Like,
well, I think it goes to, because you've seen their server browser, right?
For custom matches.
Yeah. So you can hop in and you can find. You are so out of the loop here, Josh.
I play Overwatch to kill kids in competitive.
Yeah. Okay. So they released a server browser.
Yeah, I know
a while
they were doing
ago.
Custom games
Yeah,
or something.
and it's pretty cool because you can adjust, like, certain heroes can have more health than others, and you can make really cool game modes. I think it's gonna be. I'm still unsure about this, because Jeff on the forum basically said, "Oh yeah, we're still working on it." And it's something they want to do. The problem is, like, Blizzard's always been really big in not dividing their player base, right? That's why that's the reasoning for not doing a lot of things, like releasing, like, a MOBA version of the game or a MOBA mode, you know, because they don't want to divide the player base, and that's under.
In Overwatch.
What?
Is that what you're talking about? The player base between Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch?
No. Just their Overwatch player base. They don't want to divide it. It's like certain people only play this game mode, and certain people. That's
I think
why
Blizzard's biggest thing is people who play one Blizzard game tend to play all the Blizzard games, and I think that's
they're
Blizzard's
fanboys.
biggest fall actually. Personally, I hate that. I hate the Blizzard fanboy. The Blizzard fanboy is the least favorite person to get in any game. They say Toon instead of like Hero or whatever because they're dumb WoW or something like that. And also, like, here's the problem. When I play Heroes of the Storm and when I play Overwatch, people who are bad at the games, I bet you 100% they come from WoW. Because WoW is the most brain-dead game that's ever become popular in history. You literally sit there and click the same keys over and over again in a pattern. There's no player versus player interact. I mean, PvP in WoW is a thing. I know that. Like, and I know that it's like competitive, like in esports, but it's not. Who wants to watch PvP? WoW, no one does anymore. Also, StarCraft, I also think has a very similar problem, where people who play StarCraft are really good at RTSs and like actions per minute and stuff. And I think StarCraft actually plays out a lot like WoW does in most situations, where it's like a predetermined strategy of what you're going to do beforehand. So like, you don't really have that much variance in each game. However, in MOBAs and FPSs, everything's different, and it's all based on individual skill. And both, like, I just think I don't like Blizzard fan base. I think the company is pretty cool. I'm not a Blizzard fanboy, really. Like, I like Diablo. I think WoW's gay, obviously, as I mentioned. StarCraft's cool, but I'm not really into it. Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm were the biggest games I got into. Heroes of the Storm was cool, but it was really easy.
Really might like
I mean, I got into like the top 0.5% ranking or something without even knowing I was like in League. If you're that high, you're that high.
You know you're that high.
And Heroes of the Storm, I was just like jerking around, and I get up to like rank 2 or 3 or something dumb like that.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes to show that Blizzard's more about making money and about making games that everybody wants to play instead of making an actual competitive game.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, so, what do you think about the Overwatch League? Do you think it's going to be successful?
I actually watched a few matches. And again, I still have the issue where it's hard to watch.
It's not a
but it's getting
game.
Yeah, it's getting better, and Blizzard's definitely working on it, but that is still the issue.
CS:GO, the rival competitive shooter, is slower in like each match, but each individual match is in a whole round, right? So each match it takes like a minute.
And every action a player makes has a huge impact
in the game. It's very like important in League. And for instance, if a player pops off, they get ahead, they can snowball the whole game off of that. In Overwatch, however, it's kind of like a mix between an FPS that you can't solo carry your way through, which is weird. Like most FPS you can, like CS:GO and Call of Duty and Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mixed between a MOBA where if you get ahead, you get items. It's not like that either because it's more like the aspect in MOBAs where, like, if you're in bottom lane or something, you have your support, and your support's trash, you can't 1v2, kind of. It's more like that. And I think that Overwatch just will never be successful as a competitive game because the competitive ceiling on it is so small.
Yeah. I feel ya. I want it to be successful because I think it'd be really cool.
I played Overwatch casually, and I got placed in gold off my placement rankings. In League of Legends, gold is like the top 20%. Or something. Gold 5 is like top 20% of the player base. Right? So if they even like was close to Overwatch, like League has like millions of people playing ranked at one time, and just in NA, and we're the smallest of the like major regions.
Mm-hmm.
And that game's super competitive. Overwatch, I don't see it. Like also like people who play Overwatch don't play to climb rank usually. And like I don't know, like I see the Overwatch League being like a big waste of investment by Blizzard, and I think Blizzard's trying to get into esports, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think Overwatch is their best attempt so far, but it's still not. Yeah,
people watch League and people watch CS:GO, and people watch fighting games like Smash and Street Fighter. Those are like the only big esports right now.
Spectator esports, yeah, but something eventually has to come along to actually like break that. Something will happen, but
I think if Overwatch changed the way the game played out, it would. But then that would change the reason why you'd want to play Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like TF2. TF2 was never a really competitive like esports game. Well,
but it was a really competitive game.
But what if Blizzard introduced like microtransactions?
For hats? Are they going to introduce hats? Oh shit!
So they have skins already. But imagine if they introduced like something you could gamble on. like hats or like gun skins or something dumb like that.
So stupid.
They would make so much money though. That's the only reason those CS:GO and TF2 were alive during like low viewership times. At least CS:GO during TF2 was just alive because everybody played it. So a lot of people play Overwatch. Imagine if they did that though. At least half. Okay, at least 80. Like at least half of the people who are going to play are going to buy at least one microtransaction. That's a lot of money.
I see where you're going with that.
I think Blizzard needs to go away from trying to make Overwatch a competitive esports game and more making it into like a fun, casual game that has competitive players in it, like TF2 does.
Yeah,
but it's never going to be a spectator sport.
I will give Blizzard credit; they are really good at making fun games.
They are,
StarCraft, but they're not the best.
Fun, like Heroes is fun, Overwatch is fun. Hearthstone's fun. Hearthstone's their best esports.
Okay,
game.
I totally forgot. Yeah, I know. I forgot about Hearthstone too.
It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not hectic and everything's going on.
It is their best.
Very simple to watch,
and it's the slowest, most individual game they have.
What would you say your like top requirements? Like, what are the most important aspects to make a game an esport?
So to make a game into an esports, I think it needs to have big player base. Large player base. CS:GO, huge player base. League, huge player base. Smash Bros, big. Hearthstone, big. I think it needs to be a type of game where an individual can use his ability in that game to win. So this is where it sounds confusing, but in CS:GO for sure, if you're good at CS:GO, you can win games by yourself. Like you can just 1v4 clutch the round. In League, if you're good at League, sometimes you can just stomp your lane harder enough where you snowball out of control and win the whole game for your team, right? Overwatch, you're popping off a Zarya. It doesn't matter because your Zenyatta's inting, your Lucio's inting, your Genji's inting, your McCree's inting. Like, everybody just goofs off and runs around, and you can't.
And then the other team has all their ultimates, and they just
you
smash
cannot win that game by yourself.
Yeah.
The reason why is because it's like League in the sense that it's really heavy in team game. Unlike CS:GO is a more quick-paced team game where you can outperform. League, very few, once you get into more competitive aspects, do you see individuals outperforming enough to carry their whole team. However, in League, it's always the same, and it's a PvE environment where you have gold to buy items which increase your stats. In Overwatch, everything's static, and that means everybody's equally as powerful as you no matter how well you're doing. And objectives, you need a team to take an objective. You can't push the payload by yourself. You can't take a point by yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that really... I think that's the main core of Overwatch's problem to why I think it can never be a esports game. And the other thing is, I think the developer needs to make the game in mind that they want it to be a competitive game, and not in mind that they want to make money.
Well...
Because Overwatch...
Why not both?
That's the whole thing. If it becomes a competitive game, it makes money. But if it makes money, it doesn't mean it's going to be a competitive game.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
if you want,
your top priority should be getting the player base to be competitive.
Yes. Overwatch is not competitive. It is you say GG easy and it makes a joke out of it. Like, the game knows
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You need toxicness to be an esport. I swear, are the most toxic games I've ever played in my life, and they are the two number one.
Because it motivates you. If you're playing
a game and you're getting told, "I wish you were aborted," you're gonna be like, "I wish you were aborted," and then you try harder.
It's an interesting fact. I agree. I think toxicity in a game. Well, here's the problem. Overwatch is toxic, but it's toxic in a different way. You know what I'm saying? You have the people crying out meta constantly, and then you have people like, if you remotely pick Widowmaker, Genji, or Hanzo, who go down your throat.
Like, League's the kind of game where one of my favorite stories in League, and from one of my favorite players, I'm a Cutie Pie, is that Cutie Pie was going to get banned in like Season 3, I think it was. I Will Dominate was getting banned. And he already kind of like, I Will Dominate sealed his grave by basically telling Riot that they don't care about their players. Like, he literally told, like, the head of, like, Riot's North American, like, sector, something like, I don't think Riot cares about its players. He got banned. They're going to ban I'm a Cutie Pie, and then Scar, his teammate, convinced them that I'm a Cutie Pie was autistic. And they didn't ban him. No joke. That is a real thing. We can make it. There's a video. It's really funny. He
Holy
convinced
shit.
Riot Games that his teammate, I'm a cutie pie, was autistic, and that's why they didn't ban him.
Oh my god.
They're like,
that
wait,
is so...
that makes sense. Why he would say like a bunch of dumb stuff. That is the kind of game that you need to become a sports game, where your teammates can convince the people who make the game you're autistic to not get you banned.
That's next level. I didn't know that, and I mean, it makes sense. It's coming from frickin' League of Legends. I'm not surprised by it, but it's just like...
All right, so going off the Overwatch and League of Legends.
All right, moving on a little bit.
Games we're playing. So, what games are you playing right now? Like, I'm playing League and Overwatch. I just did my placements with you. Got placed. I got placed higher than Jacob. Congratulations.
I know, whatever.
I'm higher ranked than you, and you play that game way more than I do.
Shut up. What are you talking about? I don't. What are you talking about? I don't play that game, man. What game?
I'm playing those two games mostly, and I've been playing Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo.
Of course.
Trying to do Guiles and Sonic Boom. It's really hard for me. And that's it. I'm playing those two games. What are you playing?
I played Overwatch to de-stress. I've had finals this week, okay?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I haven't played a whole lot, but I've played that, and I'm still playing.
I got a near death experience in a car accident this week.
Okay, so okay, all right. If we're going off that, you win. You win.
It's like
you win,
finals.
But whatever. Anyway, I've had finals, so I haven't played games. I've played Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
How far are you in?
And Overwatch. I'm about to capture the 4th Divine Beast.
Is that like
so?
How many are there? I haven't looked into it at all because I want to buy it. So.
The very gist of it, without spoilers, is your goal is to basically collect these 4 Divine Beasts.
So you're like
each one. Well, here's the thing: each one you get just makes the final boss battle easier. You know. In a way, think of it like that.
Are they required?
They're not required.
Oh,
you can go directly and just go fight them. It's just difficult. So I mean, I've been doing some of. Right? I've been doing some of the side quests, but not a lot of them. I don't know. In terms of completion of like actually finishing the main story quest, I'm like, I don't know. I have like a 4th of the way to go.
So
after that though, I'm gonna pick up Shovel Knight and just grind through the whole thing because I have not.
Oh. Have you ever played any Bomberman games before?
I played some like older ones.
So Bomberman Generations on the GameCube was lit. It was such a good game. I remember getting it from Blockbuster for like $10. It was like one of the games that nobody rented, so they're selling it. And I bought it from them, and it was like awesome. It was such a good game. If the new Bomberman's like that, I would buy it on the Switch when I get a Switch. I think in general, games now take too long to play. When you go to buy a new game, back in the day, Mom and Daddy, they'd buy you your Super Nintendo, they'd buy you your Yoshi's Island, you're at your favorite game, and then they give it to you, and you put it in the cartridge, and you play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was like that all up until internet really started getting really involved. So this last generation, the Xbox, I remember, I don't know if they still do this. I remember that you used to have whenever you put a game in, you'd have to like there's always be huge updates and stuff like that.
Day one updates and patches and crap.
Day one patches. I was trying to play League earlier today. I had one person. I went into one match, and then in League of Legends, somebody leaves, and within the first 3 minutes, there's gonna be a remake. And basically, you can just surrender if your teammates have like never connected. It's nice, but it's super annoying because it happens all the freaking time. And league queues are already long enough, and champions select, drafting, like going through bans and picks.
Yeah,
You'd end up waiting like 30 minutes, and then you'd play a 30-minute game.
Mm-hmm.
And like with new games and stuff, I remember I bought Destiny for the Xbox 360. I wanted to play it. Had like I bought a brand new 20 gig hard drive. Could not have every update it needed. Cannot store 20 gigs of update. It has more than 20 gigs of update.
Yeah, okay. This gets into a bigger question though, because now we have your multiplayer games, okay? League, Overwatch, team games that require internet connection. Yeah, because you can hop in and you can play the game and hands up.
Yeah.
You get in, you play what you want, and you leave.
Yeah.
Then you have like the story-driven games. We'll use Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild for this example. You have progress, and there's something satisfying about looking back. Look how much I've accomplished. You have something to show for it, right? And that's why League and Overwatch has a level-up system. You can see how much. Look, I've accomplished. I played this much, or I'm ranked that much. Yeah. So you need the progression aspect. But now you have games that are so huge that you get burnt out before you get to the end of it.
Yeah,
and you never finish it. You never, get that accomplishment, and
like the last game I beat, and before I beat Middle Earth Shadows of Mordor, which I just went back and beat, the last game I beat before that was a single player experience, was Halo Reach, I think. That was the last single player experience I think I went through and beat 100% of the way through.
Well, that's the other issue. No one's really focusing on single player games right now. Everyone's focused on the multiplayer. I mean, you have the last Halo, which didn't even have local multiplayer. Didn't have split screen.
Undertale was a single player game, and it was super popular.
Yeah, those are like niche games, though. I'm saying, like, no, name the okay. What's the most recent AAA title that has like
1.
that was built for? No, Battlefield 1 had a very strong multiplayer. I'm talking about
it had a really
single
good
player.
It had a really good campaign.
And I haven't played the single player. I've literally played first mission, and I've only played multiplayer.
I haven't bought a Battlefield game since Battlefield Bad Company 2. I'm just saying.
Actually,
what do you think? What was the last time you bought a Call of Duty?
A Call of Duty?
Yeah.
I recently bought the original Black Ops because it was on sale for PC.
On release.
On release? I've never bought a Call of Duty game on release.
Like anywhere close to release or anything like that? Right.
No, I've always bought mine secondhand and played it. But Black Ops was good. Black Ops was good, but the multiplayer in it was good too.
Yeah.
I'm saying, what game recently has AAA title that has focused on multiplayer? And you can argue Battlefield 1 has, but it also focused I'm talking like it is meant single player. The only thing I can come to mind is Assassin's Creed, and they tried to implement a multiplayer.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. It's Shadows of Mordor is an Assassin's Creed kind of game. It's only single player.
I mean, you have that's the problem. People don't want that. That's why they're not going to have That's why they're not going to have a Half-Life 3. Is because people don't want a single player game, which is sad. Because I want a single player game. I want a really good single player game.
I don't have time for single player games. All my friends, it's more enjoyable to go in and play League with a bunch of friends, or just to play a game by myself real quick before I have to go do something.
Yeah, exactly. So
Doom. Oh, I bought Doom, and I started playing through Doom, and I wanted to beat Doom. I've just never gone back and played it because I'm never in the mood to sit down and play a game by myself like that. Doom, right there. That was actually really popular, and that was a single player only game, right?
Yeah. This brings us to a question here. Is single player dead? Is there a place for it? It's dead?
Yes. I think it's dead and there's a place for it.
In the ground.
In the ground. I honestly... Pokemon?
Here's the thing. Pokemon is multiplayer. It's always been designed. Always been motivated to battle and trade with other people.
I never battled and trade with other people though. I just played it by myself and beat.
That was the design for it, to go trade with other people.
I don't think single player is ever gonna be the same that it was. Like for instance, me playing the Super Nintendo, it actually frustrates me how many good multiplayer games there are. There's Street Fighter, we played Dr. Mario and Tetris, and we played like Turtles in Time, and that's it. Like all the games that I remember, really like, are all single player, like Donkey Kong, Mario. Like they have a multiplayer aspect, but even in those games,
but they're exactly.
So, I think single player games have a spot, and that is
in the past
RPGs.
Okay.
Only place I can think of where single player makes sense right now.
I think the problem is, internet is so widely available. And multiplayer games are
role-playing games. A straight-up role-playing game is better by yourself than it is in a multiplayer.
Everyone is competitive, and I think that's what makes the ability to play against people much more fun.
But I'm just saying that I think single player will still survive in RPGs. Skyrim, all the Elder Scrolls games, Final Fantasy games. If
you look at the new Skyrim or the new Elder Scrolls Online, didn't do too well.
Who wants to play Skyrim with their friends? They just make you mess up and you can't do whatever you want. Also, I think the reason why Elder Scrolls Online didn't do too well is because it was a garbage game.
That too.
I mean, I played it in over a week and I got to the end of the beta part of the game and in a day. It was one Saturday. I broke the game or something like that. It was dumb.
Yeah.
Fable.
Yeah, I see. It's
That's a game that was single player and did really well for a little bit. Was Fable, and then they made a bad one, Fable 3.
and
Yeah, I just feel like single player is a lot less forgiving than multiplayer.
yeah, I agree. And I think since multiplayer is so big at the moment, yeah, all the AAA's that's what they're going to focus on. And that's the other thing is it's hard. All the big companies are working on multiplayer games, so you won't get any good single player games. You get the indie ones. You get the ones like Undertale
Yeah,
because they're passionate about
I
it.
think
Now
that's
they don't
fine.
give a shit. The problem is
I would
you're getting all
actually
these
hate it
games that
if,
just want
like,
these refreshes.
imagine if like THQ came out with a single player game and it was, or like who makes Battlefield, EA Dice, if they came
Hmm.
out with Battlefield, the single player story, like who's gonna buy that? Join us again every Friday ish. I don't know when we're gonna be doing
I don't know
this.
what the hell. This is a test. If you guys like this, let us know. Let us know what you want us to work on. That type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, constructive criticism. Like, hey, you guys are big faggots who shouldn't be on YouTube. That's good to comment.
Yeah. Also, to Josh Anderson, who will inevitably leave a terrible comment on my video, I love you. Thank you very much.
Like, all this kind of stuff. It makes people who just opened my door. My sister.